forces joined will never tire. Brothers all are we. Streets they run with blood and fire. The price of liberty. My revolution carries me in a moment lost in time. My revolution sets me free. I will flow across the lines. Bring up the brother in me. I'm searching for unity. Everything is changing inside of me. The city's under my feet. The ruins of the elite. Everything is changing inside of me. Secret truths are buried deep. Two fathers on two sides. With every lunge and every leap, closer to my kind.
Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, or Senstaku, as you might know me on Twitter, the executive producer here, and I just want to thank you for watching. It really means a lot to us that people watch, listen to, and enjoy our shows. If you want to help us keep making these shows as fun and lively as they can be, please join your fellow fans in supporting us at our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms or by subscribing to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/finalshowfilms. It really means a lot to us that the amount of you who do support us continue to do so, especially our $25 plus tier supporters on Patreon. Antitonic, Cat Waterflame, Samantha Bates, Maureen Monty, and Gravity Alexander. Every little bit helps, so thank you to all of our patrons and subs. Check us out on Twitter at Final Show Films and on our website at www.finalshowfilms.com for updates, go-live notifications, and more. We love interacting with you, so feel free to tweet at us or email us at finalshowfilms@gmail.com. That being said, please relax and enjoy. We're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Everyone is Warlocks, Conflux, the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign that we're running here on Final Show Films. My name is Jack. I am your Dungeon Master and Storyteller for this whole thing. And joining me this evening is William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Wharton Saltspray, the dwarven pirate servant of the Thing Beneath the Waves.
And Jeremy.
Hi, my name is Jeremy. I'm playing Korashana Savakri, Kalishtar Pact of the Chain.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I am playing Zoe, Hexblade Pact of the Blade Drow.
And Nikki.
Hi, I'm Nikki, and I'm playing Diamond Katara, the Earth Genasi Archfey Pact of the Blade.
And John.
I'm John, and I'm playing Warlock, the Warforged Engineer, Pact of the Tome Great Machine Warlock.
And Cody.
I'm Cody. I'm playing Cole Estasi, the Pact of the Chain Raven Queen Warlock.
And Mara, unfortunately, is unable to be with us today because of other life issues, but we will continue on in her absence. But our last moments in Conflux were spent on the Merc Dreamer Lane's dockside, where the Hawkshead Compact had fled in the aftermath of a disastrous encounter with the now annihilated Warlocks of Dreamheart Road. The ambush had been turned upon them mid-battle, as the warder escort distracted most of the Compact, and Elishard Amacy was set upon alone by the rest of the enemy Warlocks. His death, however, birthed the fully matured form of the Nightwalker larva hosted within his body, and the battle became more of a rout. The initial blast of necrotic energy destroyed part of the manor, and none of the enemy warlocks survived for long. A few scant wounds were inflicted upon the looming undead before Wotan managed to lay a magical slumber upon the monster, buying time for him to come back to escape. But now, our eyes are drawn to the northern end of the city, 2 days previous, to the Great Press, where the massive construct is nearly completed, a customized publication. Gears whir and rivets pop into place as springs and coils tightly wound to provide the necessary kinetic energy flex their tension and begin starting the machine moving. Supportive armatures flex back from the object of production as small spider-like clockworks scurry across, using their forelimbs to polish the metallic surfaces and mop up errant smears of oily fluid. One of them skitters up to the anterior and discharges a priming spark of electricity onto an exposed terminal, and with a whirring sound, it begins. At first, there is darkness and silence, but then suddenly a mind conscious springs fully formed into existence. A shudder of movement trembles down through new limbs as a flood of proprioception fills this new awareness. And you hear a voice. Welcome to existence, Warlock.
Hello.
We are your progenitor. You may call us the Great Press. We have a job for you. You are in the city of Conflux. Powerful beings use this city, our home, to test each other's power in a contest called the Great Game. We calculate the time is right to contribute to this game. The situation destabilizes, and you can serve as our envoy to pursue the welfare of the city as a whole. We will assist you to join a compact of other warlocks to accomplish this. You will have much to learn, but you will come to know this city better with time.
Understood.
Proceed following these constructs. And Warlock, you, with your glowing blue eyes suddenly flaring into illumination, can see a number of these little spider crab-like things scurrying down a passageway as various pieces of mechanical armatures flex back and basically sculpt a wholesale passage wide enough for you to walk through.
As my mind goes over all the information that is currently in it and newly accessible, I will follow down the hallway.
Okay. Your steps lead you down a spiraling staircase to a large room, probably some 50 to 60 feet across, about twice that in length. And there is a massive pair of double doors at one far end where you can see a little bit of light peeking through. Most of the space in this room is built up to encompass a large basin of water that extends from about 3/4 of the way of the room out to these double doors that apparently just open out onto more water, you would assume.
Predictive analysis indicating that the compact I am to join will require water movement?
This is correct. These doors lead out onto the Lotic waterway known as the Reedy River. We have sufficient materials present to compose a vessel. This will enable you to utilize your abilities and become more familiar with them over the course of the passage of time.
Information present indicates such vessels typically have names indicative of purpose, significant meaning, or some other arbitrary designation.
Valid conclusion. You will see raw materials scattered through the room. Should more be required, analysis will enable constructs to deliver necessary raw materials to your disposal.
Construction begin. Project
All
name,
right.
Junk Pile. I will
And
begin
then
constructing.
All right, sounds good. So, all of you, back in the present moment, are clustered on the edge of these docks. You are able to determine that most of the warders around are either dead or disabled, based on the ones that you've passed in the street, and a couple that you can see leaning up against sheds and buildings nearby. There are still a number of just regular residents, workmen, artisans, laborers, that sort of thing, present on the docks, however. And you are beginning to attract a little bit of attention.
As Woden tries and fails to conjure his boat, so we'll lean over and quietly enough not to be super overheard. Are you not a pirate? Gestures to the large number of vessels around.
The next time you ask me like that, I'm going to hit you. But yes.
Okay. So what are you guys planning to do?
I'm hoping to steal a boat, but I'm going to let Woden pick the boat because I don't know anything about them.
What's in the harbor right now?
Most of the stuff is fairly small. You have one or two large barges. Generally, those are towed by smaller vessels, at least until you get out into the main channel.
Yeah.
And then they are
Anything
either
that requires a
pulled
tow
by
is
a
kind
large
of
crew.
Out of our reach right now.
Most of the other ones are 2 or 3 person smaller boats, useful for some brief transports, message running, very light freight carrying, that sort of thing.
So none of these boats are actually suitable for getting a large group of people off of the dock.
Not that you can see. You could go exploring further up and down the riverbank if you wanted to, but yeah, nothing in the immediate vicinity.
There's nothing here that's going to be useful for all of us. And we'd either have to keep looking for a slightly larger boat that isn't too big to use, or steal 2.
Give me a perception check there, Wotan.
All right. Perception. $11.
Something whips past your ear. It's like a bird flying, but the sound is off slightly. There's kind of a sharper cut to the sound of wind in wings. And then whatever the thing is whips around and lands on your opposite shoulder.
What is it?
It appears to be an owl made of metal.
It's a strange one.
The mouth of the owl opens up, and a little, message tube pops out, and a scroll unfurls.
Does he go, hut, hut, hut?
No, it just tink.
Almost like a cuckoo clock. Except instead of a bird coming out of a clock, it's a scroll coming out of a bird.
Cora is very visibly prepping, holding Eldritch Blast at the moment.
Okay.
The writing on the scroll in common reads, please step through the portal. As a hole in the air opens up next to Wotan, that through which you can see the deck of a ship.
Wooten, did you
All
make
right, the
that?
compact we were after is dead. Fuck it. And he walks to the portal.
So all of you just see Wotan step through this portal that's sort of just manifested spontaneously on the edge of the dock.
This is a terrible idea.
This is so
My
bad.
my blade is not out, but it's in its sheath on my back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking through.
Okay.
This is a terrible idea.
Diamond walks through.
Is Cora saying this out
This
loud
is,
or
yes, repeatedly.
just repeatedly? This is
Every time somebody walks through, this is a terrible idea.
Somebody tapped you on the shoulder.
Look,
It's Vershana.
we're gonna have a conversation one but this is a terrible idea.
Shall
Still,
I go first?
they just walk through.
Okay.
Throw up their hands.
Cole casts Hoarfrost on his dagger and then walks through.
So Cole's back to his 2 hit points. Shift yourself.
Yeah, he's and he's gonna send the bird back to keep an eye. I don't know how far away from. Are we within 5 miles of the Detrain Manor? Or is that farther away?
It's a little further away.
Okay, then I'll have him get up as once we're through. I'll have him get up as high as he can.
All right, just to keep an eye on the background.
Yeah, that general vicinity.
Right.
When I see a
That's
big
fair.
lumbering thing start going through the city again, I'll be like, all right, time to go.
Right. Yep.
So as you all
Rorik follows Diamond, and Quinn is just sort of. She seems to be on the same level as Cora with this whole thing, and just steps up beside Cora. I think.
So you step through the portal, which closes after everyone, including Aurelia, has gone through. And you are standing on the deck, the main deck of a triple-masted sailing ship that, at first glance, looks to be slightly oddly put together. When you look at like where typically wood will have been joined for making a ship, rather than the typical straight-lined joined parts, there are smooth wholesale sections of wood that are then joined to other smooth wholesale sections of wood with like almost like jigsaw puzzle like join lines. See, it's very oddly constructed. And standing up on the quarterdeck, with hands gripping the wheel, sort of looking down at the group of you, is a entity that is tall and lean, with limbs slightly too long to be in proportion, though otherwise mostly humanoid, wearing a black leather outfit that appears to be fitted too well, with a long black cloak and hood over top what currently looks to be a mask in the design of a yin-yang symbol, with white on the bottom and black on the top, and 2 pinpricks in the sort of area where eyes would go that are currently glowing blue. The owl, the scroll rolls back up and snaps shut into the owl's beak as it flies back over to sit on the staff that is leaning up against the railing next to the wheel. That is this long, this sort of long wooden staff with a very pronounced crook at the top. And from the wheel, a voice just calls out, "Master Salt Spray, if you would please relieve me of the wheel. I am not accustomed to piloting this sort of vehicle."
Sure, let's get out of here. Woden walks up and takes the wheel.
You'll notice that it has actually been sized for you. Like it's not like it is not a wheel that is sized for a normal sized humanoid. It is sized for like a dwarf.
Perfect. You will take the wheel and start getting us out of here.
All right, go ahead and give me a intelligence water vehicles check.
Do I have any kind of benefits? other than just the standard roll?
Standard roll.
Okay. Intelligence based.
Yep.
12.
12. You whip the wheel, get into a proper navigation lane of the Reedy River, and this thing is reasonably responsive, despite looking like the wooden version of a patchwork quilt.
So, after Wotan has successfully taken control of the wheel, I will step back, grab the staff. Hello, Hawkshead Compact. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Warlock, emissary of the Great Press. I have been sent to aid you in your task.
I'm very
Why?
sad Aurelia is not here right now.
Leaning over to Diamond and whispering, "Are they mad about the thing we stole?"
I
So the Great
don't
Press
know.
decided to print a Warlock.
To answer the
Why?
question of Koroshana
Getting in
Tavakri,
front of Diamond, because I don't think she's in fighting condition right now.
No.
to answer the question of Koroshana Thavakri, the Great Press sees Conflux as its home, and would not like the ruling party of whatever ends up being the result of the great game to not have the care of beings who call Confluxes as its home in mind. As such, it would like itself to have a voice in the proceedings, and your party, having summoned an extra-dimensional entity into reality at the Mark Dreamer Lanes, has been seen as the most likely to succeed. Thus, the most supported. Thus, the most in the word that I'm trying to think of. Thus, the most requiring of assistance.
If this thing kills us,
Are you saying
Zoe, I just want to apologize about the whole window stare thing. That was really dumb, and I just you're smart and amazing, and I don't. You're fine.
It's fine. I'm just glad you're still alive. I was worried about you. Let's not die here if at all possible.
Yeah.
So, to be clear, you're saying we need the help the most.
That is one reading of it, certainly.
I mean, the way that I
You
read
said
that was
most requiring of your help.
yeah. and
Therefore,
the
we
first
need
half
your
of-
help the most.
The first half of that sentence also said that the Great Press predicted we're the most likely to be successful. So, and it wants to be part of the winning team.
Are we winning though?
Well, we're the only people who've killed a compact thus far.
Did you
You
really kill him,
survived.
Let's
though?
be clear. No, hold on.
We less,
Let's-
Wotan, we
let's
less
be
killed the
clear.
other compact.
Let
we
us be-
survived
let-
whatever that was.
We can take that win. It's fine. No one's gonna fact check that.
You were saying, Cora?
I don't need to say it. It was said over me.
A compact is dead as a direct result of our actions. We killed a compact.
Jack, do I know if any other compacts have been killed prior to this?
You are not aware of compacts that have been killed by other compacts.
Got it. Yeah.
You were given a brief sort of but not exactly comprehensive description of the fact that warlocks are also being hunted currently at this phase of the great game by people.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
just sort of looking at the group. The ship that you stand on currently is a gift to the Hawkshead Compact. You may use it as you wish. It is called the Junk Pile.
That's gonna have to change.
Sort of turned.
Can I get an insight check on this strange
Sure.
Sure.
situation?
Sure, let's do that. That checks out.
Because, John, I'm really sorry, but this is suspicious.
No, go ahead.
From the character perspective. 22.
I got a 14.
With a 22, it's a little off-putting. It's a little Uncanny Valley-esque. It doesn't seem to be... The situation doesn't seem to be one where Warlock is trying to pull something over on you specifically.
So, you know the obvious fact that we are the ones who will win the game. And essentially, the great press and you as its representative want in on the new leadership of the city. Am I understanding?
That is certainly a way of reading it, yes.
Boy.
It would be more accurate to state that the Great Press wishes to ensure its own survivability in the new regime, as well as the survivability of Conflux as a whole.
Fine.
Is there somewhere to sit?
Unfortunately, I did not have the ability to generate furniture.
Okay.
It's sort of indicating to the ship, which is decked out with a ballista and a mangonel on the main deck, but no furniture in any room.
Yep. There are rooms available, but they are vacant currently.
Yeah. All the rooms that you see exist and are extant, but none of the furniture is there. The only things that are there are the catapult, or the mangonel, which is the mini catapult on the main deck, and the ballista on the forecastle. Everything
Diamond
else is just
sits on
empty.
a step.
Aurelia is primarily just investigating ship orientation right now.
Sensing the awkwardness and not quite necessarily the best foot having been stepped forward, the yin-yang mast splits in half, slides
God.
off to the side, and comes back as a sort of a bronze-colored smiling face, with the classic comedy mask.
No.
Warlock
That's
is,
Nikki, not Diamond. Diamond probably can't see. She's on a step right now. She's tired.
Warlock is just smiling.
Oh, I hate it.
Smiling.
Oh!
Turn and look at Wotan.
Currently steering the ship downriver.
If you would like to rename it, I can assist you with that. Though the junk pile was ascertained, as I have been informed from my databanks, that names of such vessels are symbolic of some aspect of their creation or emotional input or arbitrary designations.
Okay, I'm fine with him being here, but he's not allowed to be the PR department.
The other factor that goes into naming things like ships, however, is a measure of dignity and respect for the creation. Calling something the junk pile is a bit too derogatory.
But I made it from a pile of junk.
You don't want it to just be a pile of junk, though.
Understandable.
How much of the ship is metal versus wood?
About what you'd expect, honestly.
Like, does it seem to be relatively armored, or
Not particularly armored, no. Most of its composition is wooden.
okay?
What is it? It is a fully functional ship. It just looks slightly weirdly put together. And also on the prow, the prow figure is a mechanical owl's head of the kind that you have all seen before. Well, most of you have seen before. I think, yeah, all of you have been to the Great Press. I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Technically, yes. Oddly, I don't seem to remember much of it.
Big mechanical owls.
What part of the city are we in right now?
You guys are currently heading south towards Stormways.
Okay.
Yep, you're passing Fell Heights currently.
As I did not have the materials to create furnishings, you are welcome to add your own. And it sort of has indicating the doors that head into the interior of the ship.
We are surprisingly actually pretty used to our furniture being non-existent or non-functional.
Bubbles in the backpack just goes. Done making a sound. There we go.
The smiling face shifts back to the yin yang face. If you have the materials required, I can fabricate any furniture that you would like.
Good to
Can
know.
you make any that's acid resistant?
Certainly, providing the material is acid resistant.
Aurelia?
Gonna have some fucking Art Deco furniture in a fucking shack in Knives Font.
We need to move. We can put in the Art Deco furniture after we move. Oh my god.
No. I love it.
This ship is large enough you could live on it too.
If
Well,
you wanted to.
Considering the circumstances that led to us meeting you and acquiring this ship and recent events, if I'm going to be in charge of this thing, I'm rechristening it Elishard's Revenge.
Warlock walks over to the I can't think of what the name of the back end of the ship is, but that part where
The stern.
The stern,
Stern,
thank
yeah.
you. Where the name the junk pile is etched on the outside. Leans over, pulls out, you all sort of see it pull out what looks like a ball made of gears and plates that has a handle
Really, his
inset into
eyes
it.
get about this big.
Just about.
Twists and pushes, and the ball collapses outward and around his hand, forming this large exterior gauntlet of gears and switches and pipes and plates. Holds the hand up, does a couple of finger motions, and you sort of hear this clicking and whirring of gears and sounds, flicks a switch on the side of it, reaches down, puts his hand on the side of the ship, and I cast Fabricate to change, specifically just to change where it's etched, where the junk pile is etched in, to Elishard's Revenged.
Okay, I'll allow it. New name on the back of the ship.
The name has been changed.
Excellent.
And Jack, if you want, you can probably share that NPC sheet because it's got all the details as to what all those numbers on the map mean, as well as the relevant stats, which the pilot would need to know.
Fair enough. All right. Everybody should have that in your handouts.
Turning
Ignore anything about furniture until furniture is put in there.
right,
Right.
turning back to look at the rest of the group. Very well. What is your next objective?
Sleep.
At the moment, yeah, rest and recuperate. We've just had an escape from a massive extra-dimensional being.
We need to rest. We need to lay low. We need to get done all of the busy work we keep on not
Um,
doing because more important things were going on.
What's the like estuary at the northern end of Conflux that's really easy to hide in?
What, the fens?
The fens.
Woo.
Would I be able to find a place to hide this ship in the fens?
Give me a history check. You've got advantage on this one because you're a water boy.
I'm turning to the Shana that's not Cora, who's Virshana.
There.
What were you showing us when we were looking at boats at the end of last week? He had a stick or something.
Virshana holds out the staff that had belonged to one of the previous warlocks. I took this off his corpse as we ran away.
Convenient.
Those last two words kind of drip out of his mouth with some level of distaste.
Convenient. And I'm ignoring that because I think everyone heard Cora say we're going to have a chat. So Cora gets to handle that.
23 history.
With a history of 23, there are a number of channels that you assume would probably be able to handle this vessel's draft going through the fens. If you're looking for a hiding place, the first one that occurs to you is called Gallows Inlet.
All right.
Named for exactly what you'd expect. But it is at least out of the way and not very popular.
Okay. Name for exactly what you expect. To me, that says this is where they drop the bodies after they hang them.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
Sometimes they hang them there so as to cut down on the transit time as well.
Well, to Gallows Inlet to find a place to hide.
Efficiency is very valued in Conflux.
Sure. But yeah, if you decide to take the staff, Virshana will just hand it over.
Yeah. I guess the only person. Did anyone that I know of, I don't know about new character, other than Aurelia, have identify?
I do not believe that I do. No.
Aurelia also doesn't have
Nope.
identify either.
I don't think Aurelia has it either.
Nope.
Unless she took it recently. Let me check her character sheet.
I may just be misremembering.
She has the magic eyes that can see that things are magic.
Yeah, she can
Right.
see what school they are, but
Yep, no identify.
Who wants to try out the magic stick of the fireball asshole?
If you
Cole
would,
sits out from the deck.
if you would
Hand
like,
it over.
Diamond pushes you back. She sees how bad you look. You have 2 hit points.
if you'd like,
What
I
are
can
those?
offer my services to identify any objects you might not be sure of their capacity.
Sure, why the fuck
That's a
not?
solution.
Walk down to the main deck from where he was standing. Twists his hand and pulls it back out of the glove, which turns into a sphere. Grabs the sphere with both hands, pulls it out into a tablet with keys on it, sits down, holds a hand out for the staff, takes it, puts it along the tablet, and I will ritual cast Identify.
Okay.
Warlock is Google image searching his their
He's
internal.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
All right.
I do like the idea that his Book of Shadows, which is the sphere, is just the Wikipedia orb.
It's very good.
Okay. John, you should have the handout for Agony's Limb in your items folder.
So, after 10 minutes, there's just like this incomprehensible gibberish readout that appears on the tablet that you can all see, but
Binary.
none of you can read.
It's just in binaries.
And while looking at it, Warlock just sort of, as you would while reading, this staff can be wielded as a magic quarterstaff that grants various bonuses to those who wield it. It increases your defensive capabilities, your ability to evade certain effects, such as spells. It also houses an amount of power that can be expended for certain abilities. It can cast the spell Moonbeam, Life Transference, and Flame Strike. It can also expend this energy to deal additional amounts of damage when struck. It's a +2 magic quarterstaff, has 12 charges, regains them at dawn, gives you +2 to your AC saving throws and spell attack rolls. It has the power strike ability, which when you hit with a melee attack, you can expend 1 charge to deal an extra 1d6 of force damage. And you can spend 2 charges to cast Moonbeam, 3 charges to cast Life Transference, and 5 charges to cast Flame Strike.
God damn it.
I swear I did not make a character that uses a staff just because a staff was coming into play.
Zoe will look around. I can't use it.
I can.
I could. Or you could.
Here, I'll let you guys
Yeah.
all see what it has.
He will.
Now that it's been explained.
Yeah. He will
Yep.
stand there holding it and his own staff, just sort of one in each hand, just holding it out, waiting for someone to take it from him.
Oh, Skyrim style. Okay.
Yeah, dual staffs.
Just-
I mean, if you want to hand that to me, I'll take it if no one else will.
Feel free.
I'll walk it.
Do you mind? Are you going to be fighting in the front, or do you? I can use it too, and one of the things might not affect me as much, but I can still help.
Well,
Yeah.
I do. You may have noticed, but I do tend to be sort of up front, and the extra defensive capacity will certainly help.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I will walk the staff over to Wotan.
I lay back down.
Those of you that require rest, feel free to take it. I will keep watch.
Diamond puts Cole's head in her lap. Cuteness commences.
Over to them. You two be sure to rest. I can stay up for now.
Okie dokie. Diamond tries to stay awake. She fails miserably.
Oh, don't try and stay awake. Sleep is important.
All right.
Here, a moment.
Yes.
And just head somewhere off away from everybody else.
There are multiple decks.
Downstairs, another room, whatever.
Down to the cargo hold.
Get into the room. Which I don't even understand why I'm having them do this, because this is almost certainly all gonna be mental.
It's important for effect.
It's well, and it's important because there will still be expressions going on.
I don't have to talk, but my face is so loud.
Virshana looks at you.
Are you an idiot?
Sometimes, yes.
You are aware there are only so many of us.
You are aware that your continued existence is more helpful to our family than mine.
There was no doing what you did put me in higher danger because I had to go up and try and get you.
I should have told you to run before I went forward, yes.
perhaps no more jumping into near certain death. A thought.
A valid one.
Thank you.
What do we intend to do with our newest friend?
Watch, study. Maybe eventually, if they warrant it, provide some tiny measure of trust.
And where do
We will
we
see.
stand with our ancestor?
How do you mean?
We risked a great deal to
Mhm.
recover the relic. Do we know if it was worth it?
We do not yet. That's what I am hoping downtime will allow me time to discover. It was pointed out to me that there is a concentration of religious lore in this city. I plan on learning what I can about our ancestor as well as our enemy, who is frustratingly difficult to find information on.
I suppose he does not accomplish what he has by being
Over.
rash with his information.
True. But there has to be something out there somewhere. Somebody has to know something.
Yes.
And I'm getting less and less willing to be passive about that.
Well, while you grow less, I shall attempt, with your counsel, to grow a bit more.
That would be much appreciated. I'm going to go find somewhere to rest a bit. I hurt.
Wisely done. I shall keep watch for a time.
Isn't he kind of fucked up too?
Not as much as you are.
Not as much as me, but a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. As long
Yep.
as he doesn't look too terrible, there
No.
won't be any protest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, he looks like he could still go a few rounds.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, I go somewhere to sit down, meditate, etc.
Okay.
Unlike the Hawkshead house, this ship has individualized rooms, so you can have your own room.
What?
This is a floating mansion.
Comparatively, yeah.
People,
No, that's
we
what Cole
don't
thinks, is that
need
this
to
is just a
move.
floating mansion.
We've already moved. And more to the point, we are moving forever.
Though, I will say, you did all leave your pile of money back at the Hawkshead house.
Oh, we have to go back for
We're
it.
definitely taking our shit.
We
But
do
yeah.
have to go
I
back
didn't
for
let
stuff.
Mara leave the pile of money.
But yeah, like we
We
have to
would
go
have
back
really
to our
got
shit,
into a
but
fight about it.
this is literally a mobile base.
Right. This is the best possible option.
So,
Everything Woden was asking his ex for.
What
Yeah.
we're saying is we kill the Warforged and take their ship.
the ship is a gift.
I was gonna say he's already given you the ship, but yeah.
So up top, I've been
No
going
take
down.
backs.
I've been going down the list of features the ship has with Wotan to familiarize him, since he's at the wheel and can't explore it on his own.
Yeah.
Listing
The
out
river
all
is
the
much
rooms and
wider, but
things.
considering that you guys are now headed north to the fens, I just like the idea of Wotan having to do a 3-point turn with a ship in the middle of a river.
Yeah.
Taking notes of anything that people might want, like a table in the dining room or beds in the bedrooms.
Yeah, Woden will sort of run down basic amenities that'll need to be acquired for the ship.
These
Because
Sounds
Zoe's
good.
up there, I'll be keeping an eye on, like, okay, we need to make this as bubbles resistant as possible. Because my girlfriend has a pet ooze. And she's too tired to advocate for her own pet right now.
Yeah, Woden will make notes that most everything will need to be as acid-proofed as possible.
To a certain extent, this can be done, certainly. And we'll also indicate. Would you care for the figurehead to be changed as well?
If I think of something that I would like to change it to, I'll let you know. But at the moment, acknowledging the contribution of the Great Press to our compact is fine.
Very well.
I like it. It's subtle. It doesn't scream any of the things we don't want to announce our affiliation with. And it's not literally a hawk's head like we have outside of our current place of residence, which, again, we should have moved from months ago.
Well, now we've got a moving base.
That's fair.
Once we've had some time to rest, we'll make our way back to Knives Font and retrieve anything we need from the Hawkshead House.
The Great Press and I are both glad that you appreciate our gesture, he says, indicating the ship.
I'm going to have to... You know what? I'll wait till we get to a stopping point, but I'm going to have to teach at least a couple of other people how to handle a ship that's actually got a rudder and a wheel.
And sails.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, the sails are currently, they're out, and it's going to take people to reef those if you ever want to, stop getting yanked around by the wind.
Yeah.
There aren't many places as deep underground as I come from where our sailing ships are really used, but...
Are we at full sail or half sail right now?
You're at about half right now.
Okay. We don't need to be... Once we get into the fens, we're going to need maneuverability more than we're going to need speed. So if you could please... This is a 3-mast ship?
Yeah.
Yep.
If you could reef all but the main sail and keep that one at half-mast.
I will do my best.
I will help out with that because, like, with guidance, sails are operable.
Jack?
Yep.
Question.
Yeah?
Could I use animate objects to animate the sails and make them reef themselves?
Oh, fine. Go ahead and do that.
Let me see what the restrictions on animate objects is.
It's the size of the object.
Joe is already deeply concerned someone's going to cast Jotun's Jest on something.
And just break it, yeah. Fortunately, the people that use Jotun's Jest were me and Elishard, so...
Yeah, that's fair. And
so you could...
Woden cares enough not to.
Yeah.
You could manage to animate one sail. Sail would qualify as a huge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, the 2 smaller ones I feel like we can probably do, but the big main one, I will animate objects to have it reef itself.
Well, we don't need to read that one yet.
Oh,
so.
well, then I will hold off on that.
Okay.
The main sail can stay at half-mast. I need the other 2 reefed because I need more maneuverability.
If it seems evident that there is not enough physical strength to do this, I'm gonna go get Virshana. Or Rorik. Whichever one.
I was gonna say, Rorik is right there.
Yeah.
Rorik looks a little
fair.
uneasy. Rorik needs to make a constitution save.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rorik.
Rorik don't boats well.
Oh my god, he doesn't have
Do I
sea
notice
legs.
that?
Give me a just a straight perception check.
Do I notice that, actually?
You can give me a perception check, too.
I have been trying to be accommodating for Rorik. It's just a little hard to remember NPCs, which is why I rolled a natural 1.
That's okay. Yeah, you're busy looking at the sails and trying to get things set.
10.
A Warlock, you're aware that Rorik is there.
As the person at the wheel and the person who, is supposed to manage crew as a captain usually, do I have an immediate sense of who's getting seasick?
You can give me a perception check too.
Don't get advantage, please.
Nope.
Oh.
You're busy learning a new ship.
I want to point out that we have really high modifiers today.
Yeah. Yeah. 5, 6, 6. Yeah.
Yep.
And it goes 6, 10, 12.
Wotan, you're primarily focused on learning this new ship and also not running aground or into any other vessels.
Yeah.
So you haven't really had a good time to really get your bearings of your current crew. You do notice that Rorik is using a hand to at least one to get around the deck most of the time, but other than that, he's about as stern and silent as usual.
So for anybody that is going to be helping with the thing, with reefing the sails, I take the Tome of Shadows is back in sphere form, twist the handle and push it onto my staff, and it sort of wraps around and encompasses the staff, forming a sort of like a grip, basically. And flip a switch, twist a thing, and I'm just going to touch Zoe and Rorik, and I'm going to cast Fly on Zoe and Rorik and myself.
Poor Rorik went from on land, on sea, now in the air.
to help maneuver around the sails, since none of us are salesmen and thus not necessarily good at navigating rigging. This takes that out of the equation.
Also, John, I'm very sad you didn't just slap bracelet your tome onto your staff.
All right. Well, all three of you give me athletics checks then.
Any sort of advantage for not having to worry about falling.
That will negate the need for possible dexterity saves if
all
you
right.
roll really low.
Good. 11.
11. Rorik got a 14. Poor guy. He's not rolling well either. 4.
This is why I cast Fly.
This is why you cast Fly. Zoe, you're having a hard time just keeping your grip. It's a lot windier up here than you were anticipating. And there's a few times where you get your feet blown out from under you. Fortunately, all you have to do is hold on to a rope or whatever.
Yeah.
And your weight doesn't really drag you down the way gravity normally would. But you're unfortunately doing more of the directing than the helping right now. But between the three of you, it takes about 10-20 minutes to get your first one reefed.
Can I give them instruction on reefing the sail when I realize how they're having trouble?
Sure.
I assumed we got instructions.
Can I use the aid another action from the wheel?
Yes, you may.
Does that mean we have advantage on the second roll?
Yes.
All right. 12.
Hey.
Hey.
So that's better. 20.
20. Rorik with advantage got a 23. The second one gets reefed much more quickly. You're closer back to where Wotan is. He's able to point out and give you some basic instructions on decent reefing technique. And you guys managed to get that one bundled in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Landing. Because not all of us can fly basically at will, we definitely will need to practice that. But good for now.
Yeah, that's good for now. And we'll have to get the third mast up when we need to stop, but right now it's keeping us moving forward at a decent pace. So
I can handle the main sail on my own when the time comes.
We can also probably nag Aurelia to give us levers or something.
Mm-hmm. And once the ship is stopped, I'll run all of you down climbing rigging and other important things you'll need to know about being on a ship.
Sure.
Rorik, if you're feeling seasick, I recommend you go down to the waterline. It's a lot less upsetting down there.
Bit less pitchy, hey?
Yeah.
Mm. And he kind of sucks his teeth a bit and then very deliberately goes over to the gunwale spits in the river.
Find a
Gives it a
spot.
nod and then just stumps downstairs.
Find a spot roughly midship, right around the water line, and you'll be in the best position.
Thumbs up as he goes. All right. It's about an hour or so of transit before you guys hit the fens.
Things I know about ships, despite not having been on a ship more than a handful of times.
Yep,
So
it's
does
valid.
everyone except for Wotan get a short rest?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You can all spend hit dice and get your spells back.
Except for me. Still out of spells.
Yeah.
See, reminder to make sure you have to toggle your class, maybe.
Yeah, so the way hit dice work on the character sheet has changed. You need to actually click on the little D4 there and change it to a D8. It's not even in the settings, it's right there on the
Well,
hit
you
dice
can
feature. Yeah.
change your class to something else, change it back to Warlock, and it will also work.
It didn't work for me previously, so if it works for you, that's great. I had to do it manually though. Otherwise, it'll roll a D4.
Oh, yeah, I see. So it's actually easier for me to use my multi-class features now.
Well, I
that
got
makes sense.
26 back because I only had 5 hit dice left.
Same. That's what I got. 26 hit points.
Luckily, my maximum hit points are so low that almost brings me up to full.
Hey, awesome.
I'm just over a
I'm
quarter.
gonna save a few
Always
hit
look
dice in
on the
reserve.
bright
Go all the way to
side.
full.
So this is where
Glass is always half full when it's a very small glass.
Yep.
So this is where I don't point out that I think I still have the most hit points of everyone.
How many hit
Shut
points you got?
up!
102.
You have the same number of hit points as I do.
Well,
Shut up!
Is that with the
That's before Heroes Feast.
that's before Heroes Feast? Okay, cool.
I hate you all.
Oh, yes, and the effects of Heroes Feast have ended now.
Cool.
Because we both have an 18 con, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're taking the half plus one
Yep.
hit dice.
I have basically half of that, and I'm actually a melee fighter.
Oh, I still don't have Agony's Limb in my handouts, by the way. If you.
Oh, yeah, let me drop that to you.
I
Oh,
don't know if this was clarified. Is that a
yeah.
antiquity?
I would indicate that it is a
It
Fey
is.
antiquity if that was included on the
Oh, yeah.
identifier.
Zoe will probably at some point go, "Oh, does your magic thing tell you if it's a Fey antiquity?"
It is.
It does. It is.
Great. Woden, we need a chat real quick. So, just warning you because Elishard and I didn't have any warning. It seems like the Fey antiquities resonate with each other or something. I didn't quite understand how really I explained it. But what it means is you might have some dream visions of other Fey antiquities, which is fine and a little bit weird. And Elishard and I were both there in ours. But now one of them is connected to what Elishard became. I don't know if it still has it, if it's still active enough to be in these dreams, but
That'll be a pleasant experience trying to find that out, I'm sure.
yeah, fair warning.
Fair enough.
Jack, I'm assuming I have no idea how this works enough to know if...
Not really, no.
Okay.
Not the sort of thing they generally cover in school.
I was
So-
homeschooled. Does that help?
Once
Slightly less so.
once we get to the fens and we get to the point where Wotan would want the sails, the mainsail furled, I will use animate objects to have the mainsail furl itself.
Okay. So you are back down to
Which
2 spell
pre-
slots now.
Which presumably will be when we start getting into the narrower sections of the fens.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The fens rise in front of you, densely wooded, but with fairly small dimensions to the plant life. It only rises 10, 20, 30 feet deep in most of its places. But
Does this
Woden,
vessel seem like it when it's not running on sails? Does it just drift, or does it actually have oars?
it just drifts.
Okay.
You could potentially install some main deck Warlocks if you wanted, but it's definitely not set for that currently.
We're going to need to get some Warlocks if we're going to be hiding around in narrow locations at some point.
With enough trees around, that should be easy enough to do.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some rowboats that you could lash down and tie to tow it if it did get into an area where you literally had to row it back out.
Yeah.
But following your memory of the various navigation, you make your way to the secluded docking port known as Gallows Inlet. The nose of the Revenge pokes in to this area that's surrounded on 3 sides by one of the larger islands in the fens. The muddy water just sort of lapping at the hull as a cool wind blows across the water. The area of the little harborage is probably 300 feet across at its widest point. Go ahead and give me a perception check, anybody who's on deck.
Yeah. My passive perception is 16 for whatever it matters.
Okay.
And I can't
11,
be
so is
surprised.
mine as well.
Oh, ignore the advantage. I forgot to toggle it off. 9.
Natural 20.
31.
26.
Also a natural 20.
John, we don't
Warlock-
just have the same stats, do we?
I don't know.
Warlock and Cole, you guys both almost immediately notice anywhere from 5 to 12 bodies suspended from various branches of overhanging trees around the perimeter.
So just musingly out loud, various bodies, threat level minimal.
Look up. Do I
You
see him
can-
now?
As they're indicated, you can see, probably almost a dozen
Huh.
just swinging
I
in the
would argue-
breeze.
It
I would
doesn't
argue
seem
that
like
Warlock
it.
does not understand threat levels appropriately.
Well,
There is a
as
lot
long
of
as-
threat implicit in that.
The bodies themselves are the thing he was analyzing the threat
Right,
of.
of course.
Right. Zoe?
Well, as long as they don't come alive and try and kill us, I would say it's probably not worth selling them. They don't seem particularly well preserved, and we'd have to take them somewhere.
Jack, I've got a question.
Yeah.
For the purposes of the spell Fabricate,
Yeah.
Oh,
Is a corpse material.
what sort of materials would a corpse qualify as?
God damn it, you're supposed to be a Warforged, not a Shamasei.
I'm just saying, raw materials, I could make like leather coats or something.
You know, I've seen this episode, this type
yeah,
of
if
magic.
you start making a flesh chair or something, I will stop
I
you.
swear
That
to
said,
God,
bone
Ed
furniture.
Jane.
It wouldn't look like flesh furniture is the thing. It
Nobody
translates it from
ever
one
thinks
thing
it
to
Is
looks
this
another.
happening in
like
character?
furniture.
No, I'm asking Jack out of character what materials that would qualify as, because analyzing that is absolutely a thing Warlock would do. Not out loud, but that's something he would analyze.
In terms of the Fabricate spell, you'd be looking at bone, skin, and hair primarily.
Okay. So just filing that away as location of resources if those materials become required.
I mean, making furniture out of bones is sort of an aesthetic that I think a couple of us might get behind.
Oh,
Yeah, if
yes,
you're H.R. Geiger.
But
Or again,
and hair, if we need to make wigs, that would be great. However, Zoe is socially conscious enough to realize that her girlfriend would be deeply uncomfortable with it if it's humanoid bones, potentially.
and again, I would argue H.R. Geiger or Ed Gain.
Right.
I'm so glad I got us on this discussion.
That is not an artistic role model.
Are any of the bodies that are hanging up there look recently?
Give me a medicine check.
Do I know who would be the people to hang these bodies up,
You can give me a history check.
concerning where it's at?
21.
Actually, would I know that too because this is the fence.
18.
You can give me a history check as well, Wotan.
18.
What the hell?
24.
No, our stats are not the same, William.
Cole, there's probably 2 or 3 of them that may have been hung up sometime in the last week. All the others are significantly older than that.
Okay.
Warlock and Wotan, this is primarily territory trafficked by the Fenfolk. Most of the people here are probably either criminals that even the Fenfolk decided, yeah, nah, that's a little beyond the pale, or Fenfolk that were caught doing crimes against other Fenfolk, usually F murder, that kind of thing.
So just out loud again, just as casually as the previous statement. So long as we do not present ourselves as a threat to the Fenfolk, we should be fine.
Oh, aye. The Fenfolk are actually decent people to work with as far as the piracy business goes, so I tend to keep my relationship with them fairly amiable.
It's fine by me.
I don't recognize any of the fresh ones, do I?
No, mm-mm.
Okay.
None of them are faces that you register.
Okay.
A couple of them have bags over their heads.
Okay.
So, you'd
Yeah.
have to take that off just to be sure, but nobody leaps out at you as, oh shit, Uncle Jerry.
Also, no one leaps out because they're not zombies.
Yet.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I have to kill things to make them undead.
All right. I'm going to try and find a place to bring this boat in.
Yep. So your best guess on this would be honestly just to drop anchor in the middle. That way you don't risk running aground even if it does drift slightly. And you guys have rowboats for landing craft and embarkation and that sort of thing. So
Who's on deck right now?
Me.
Oh.
Sounds like most people.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, from the checks, it seems like most of us
Yeah.
made our way out.
Once I
Those
was
of you
done-
on deck, I know we don't exactly have Roderick available, but could some of you try and drop the anchor for me?
I could do it. If Diamond doesn't have to look up anymore, she will do it.
It is a simple lever mechanism, and I sort of point with the staff towards where you need to go.
Okay. Diamond drops anchor.
all right, yep, you yank on the lever as indicated and the wheel just spools out and you can hear the clack 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 on the gear mechanism
winding
and
that
there's a
back up.
splash.
Winding that back up's going to be a bitch, but oh well.
I mean, leverage, that's what gears are for.
Yep.
It'll just take a while is all.
Wotan steps away from the wheel. All right. I need sleep.
Sleep was great.
Can I make a medicine check just to sort of determine the general, exhaustion v health levels of the party?
Sure.
10.
10. All of them look a little rough.
Yeah.
Some of us more than others. Yeah.
Some of them more than others, but everybody looks like they've had a day and a half.
Yeah. Sleep would be advisable for the group of you.
On what beds?
We'll have to
Sorry.
get beds
Sorry,
later. For now,
excuse
just
me.
find a comfortable position.
That was Nikki being sarcastic and tired. Diamond says, "Oh, we don't have any beds. Be uncomfortable."
Look around. The fence is a pretty naturey area, right?
Oh yeah, no, most of the shore is pretty heavily overgrown. You can see a couple bare spots where it looks like the vegetation's been hacked back a little bit. There are a few exposed rocks, but for the most
With
part,
my
it's
experience with poison serving as a don't use that, would it be possible to gather up some soft brush or something?
if you want to, yeah. Go ahead and make me a survival check.
Okay.
I mean, I could probably use any amount of fibers to make a bed. Wouldn't be a good bed,
Yeah.
but
That's fair. Zoe's gonna try this because survival's a thing I can actually do. 14.
14. If you want to take about an hour
Mhm.
to lower one of the boats, row ashore, gather what plant material and such that you can find to make a makeshift wilderness mattress.
Yeah.
And then row it back. Yeah, you can get probably 2 mattresses worth.
All right. I'll try and collect some material. While we're camped out here, or we can. I'll just bring back the materials. You said you can make stuff out of.
yes, I will assist.
All right, great. Going to grab one of the boats. Unless it seems like it would be easier to just fly over.
The boat gives you a lot more transport power than what you
That
can
is
just
fair,
carry in
yeah.
your arms. So yeah, probably using the rowboat would be best.
Being
Boat and casual deforestation.
Mm-hmm. Aurelia is going to help too.
Great.
Aurelia is not going to help.
Making some oars would be nice.
Yeah.
I mostly just help with the transport.
Okay.
Honestly, Zoe is probably fine to point out that one, not that one,
Mm-hmm.
and let other people do the hacking and stuff.
Wotan just sort of walks all the way astern, sits down, leaning up against the back of the ship, and just rests.
Sounds good.
There
Cole
is
is-
the captain's quarters right underneath the quarterdeck has a door that, again, just like the wheel, is sized for Wotan.
Mm-hmm.
Very clearly indicating where Wotan's room would be, if that matters.
There's not a bed there yet, so
No, there
actually,
isn't.
no. Now that he's no longer on the wheel, he will actually go down to the captain's quarters just to take a look.
Yep. It's a fairly sizable cabin.
Yeah, just completely sparse and empty, though. But
Just bare.
does it? So, question: typically, captain's cabin directly beneath the wheel also
That's
usually has
room
like a
number
back
3.
balcony. Does it have that, or is it just the back wall?
This
It's
does not
just a
have
back
yeah,
wall.
this is just a window.
Okay,
But it is a window.
there was a porthole.
Yep.
No, an actual like square window, not just a hole.
Mm.
Guess we're gonna have to figure out whether we're gonna claim individual bedrooms or just use the collective bedroom. But
Wotan will do the same thing that I just said, but in the captain's quarters rather than on the main deck,
Okay.
or on the quarter deck rather.
Yep.
So once we get the materials back, I will
Mhm.
spend how do you think it would 1 or 2 spell slots to make a because I can change materials in a 10-foot cube into a thing. Would that be enough space for 2 beds, or would I need to be 1 for each bed?
It would need to be. Let me see. Choose raw material. You can use it a large or small. So
Yeah,
one
but-
object per casting. So if you want to make 2 beds, it'll be 2 casts.
Yeah, I will point out that as an example, it considers a set of clothes to be one object. So,
Which is why a bed is one object, and you don't
Gotcha.
have to do a bed frame, a mattress, a blanket, a pillow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will spend 2 castings to. I will put them in. First, I'll go. Which room would you like these in?
Which room has Diamond claimed?
Let me look at this thing again.
I put Woden on the one that I think has been described as the captain's.
Yeah, that would be the captain's quarters, which would be Woden's room. Yeah.
Number
All right, taking away the question mark.
3. Yeah, number 3 is the captain's quarters. 11 are additional rooms, as is the underneath the forecastle. 10 is actually can be used as a room, but it's like a medical facility. Supposed to be.
Right.
That was a pretty.
Yeah, all of the 11s are single occupant rooms, and then
If you don't want to pick right now, we can just say Zoe indicates Diamond's room.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's probably
Trying
downstairs.
to be nice.
Yeah. She's in one of the lower deck rooms.
So I will make a bed in that room with 1 casting of Fabricate, and I will make a bed in the one directly opposite, just for symmetry purposes.
There's 3 single occupant rooms and then 1 group bedroom. Underneath the forecastle.
Yep, because you got crew quarters and then 3 officers' quarters and then a captain's quarters.
Yep.
Zoe will probably take one of the corners of the crew quarters, just because that's near the ballista if we get attacked.
That's fair. Captain quarters is notably near the mangonel, so
That is also fair. Yeah.
Cole is gonna fly up to the crow's nest that
Yes, it was a
this
crow's
thing
nest.
has,
Yep.
and he's gonna take a look around and make sure that there's nobody around or that we weren't followed or anything like that.
Give me a perception check.
Figure in the distance.
I sort of
Just big.
18.
18. The only thing you notice is probably at least a mile away at the closest, a couple of columns of smoke in various positions throughout the fens, corkscrewing their way skyward.
Do they just seem like camp smoke? Or
You assume some either cabin, house, settlement, campsite, something or other.
the clockwork owl is sitting on the crow's nest, on the top of the crow's nest. As you fly up there.
yeah, as I fly up there, I land next to it, and then it lands on the floor, and then I shift into me. My bird lands next to it, and then they just have a staring contest for me while I look at all this stuff.
The owl is mechanical and does not blink.
Yeah. The raven pecks at the shiny bits, which is all of it.
Uh-huh. Adorable. I love it.
Excellent.
And then I get sad because I try to call Jinx and she's not coming back. So I have enough stuff, so I'll do that before I go to bed.
Okay.
But yeah. For now, until they calm me
Jinx.
down. Yep.
Yep, but yeah, no visible threats or any sign of approaching currently.
Once it gets down to everybody actually going to take their long rest, while I'm taking mine, I'll basically just be sitting in the middle of the main deck and actually keeping watch through IO.
Okay.
Since I don't have to sleep.
Right. All right. And
I am changing out over the course of my long rest using the Warlock thing to change out 1 spell.
Yeah.
I'm going to change out I'm going to change out Galder's Speedy Courier for Control Water.
Okay.
I'm also changing Jinx's form. Now she's going to be a suited dragon.
Okay.
Because need a little bit more fighty.
Yeah. Resilience matters.
Yeah.
All right. So Cole, you perform your spell, take the time to cast and place out the various materials that the spell will utilize. And after the spell completes, there's a burst of raven feathers, and a pseudo dragon crawls out of a crack in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of pulls itself through, kind of shakes off its hindquarters a little bit, looks up at you.
I scritch where its ear would be, and I say, "Don't be mad." You'll be a cat soon enough again. This is just temporary.
Itself's gonna be so pissed off.
Well, I think Chital's going to be fine now because he'll actually be able to hide.
I mean, no, but so I imagine in my head that Shithal has had a superiority complex about familiars because that's just a cat.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got wings, but it's just a fucking cat.
It's just a
really.
fucking cat.
Yeah.
That's why Shithal
Now
keeps
it's a
eating
pseudo
cats.
dragon, and he's like, God damn it! I'm the worst master. I can not even as cool as the other familiar now.
I haven't seen the inside of the abyss in weeks.
We can fix that.
Life just sucks.
But yeah, I still
I murder him, then he sees the inside of the abyss.
she still has the same black and white scales.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
Choking your closet doesn't quite have the same ring to it as
is that what the kids are calling it these days?
yeah.
Apparently, choking the closet. Yeah. All right.
It's beating the devil out of it. So,
But a long rest is had. And as for what happens during that, well, we'll cover that when we get back from break.
all right, time to take a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Please enjoy these commercial messages. We're back.
Welcome back, everybody. So, everyone who does sleep is turning in for sleep aboard the Elishard's Revenge, as it is anchored in the middle of Gallows Inlet in the fens to the north of the Conflux landmass. So, as you sleep, Wotan and Zoe, you find yourselves standing in your rooms where you respectively fell asleep on board the ship. And then you simply rise as though gravity either doesn't have any hold on you or has a very strong hold on everything but you. But as the ship begins to sink beneath your feet and you rise through the solid objects, you find yourselves floating about 50 feet above the water, roughly a little higher than the tallest mast of the Revenge. First thing that catches your eye is a faint green glimmer, probably about 3 or 4 miles to the northwest. And then, with a rush of water, the massive form of the Nightwalker erupts out of the inlet. Huge clawed hands reaching out, grabbing both of you by the waists. The fingers long enough to wrap entirely around your body as it yanks you back down, and you can feel that cold, death-like energy creeping up your bodies. And then you wake up. It's the next morning.
Just for clarification, did Woden look like Woden, or did Woden look like the staff, the way Elishard and I did initially?
Wotan and you look like Wotan and you specifically.
Did anything interesting happen overnight that I might have seen through my owl's eyes?
There was a species of bat that you had never seen in person.
Ah. Fascinating.
And it ate
The
what you
standard
assume were a number of insects that it was too dark for you to see.
I mean, to be fair, it was the basic bat because you're 2 days old and haven't seen any bats
Yeah.
in person yet.
We both have dark vision up to 120 feet, Jack.
Yeah. But it's still difficult to pick out
Yeah,
a single flying insect
It's fair.
20 yards away.
Whenever anybody comes up onto the deck, the orb is in tablet mode and he's just typing.
But you guys have the following day.
Go knock on captain's quarters.
Come on in.
Hey,
So that happened last night.
okay, just first thing to check. You also saw that.
Yes.
Well, good news. It means that no other warlock has run off with one of the Fey antiquities.
But that one has one.
But that thing has one, yeah. I don't think there are good odds of us getting it back right now.
Not at the moment, no. That's a
Yeah.
fight that's going to take a lot of preparation.
Yeah, unless we had some plan to disattune and summon it to us or something, I don't think that's going to work in the short or medium term.
No, that's probably a problem that needs to be dealt with long term, but not right now.
We could go off after the one that's somewhere in the fens because we saw that again.
Mhm.
But I think, and I'll bring this up to the rest of the group too, we need some time to prep. We've made a huge impact. We need to see where the dust settles.
I think it's time to do some of the groundwork, some of the less exciting stuff for a minute.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to make sure we had a similar perspective on that.
I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
And some of that groundwork is going to involve teaching all of you how to handle a ship.
Yeah, probably smart. I know this is somewhere they used for hangings. What are the odds someone's going to come by and take an issue with us?
The hangings are mostly fenfolk doing fenfolk justice, so as long as we're not aggravating the fenfolk, should be fine.
All right. We stay out of their way, we'll be okay for now?
Pretty much.
Great.
I've got decent relationships with the fenfolk because business is business and we help each other out. So, shouldn't be too bad.
Thanks. Yeah. That's all Zoe needed.
There's a rap on the door.
Enter.
It opens, and then, being 6'10", Warlock has to get down very low to get in the door, but he does so. The ceilings are still fine. The ceiling is still 8 feet up, but the door is much shorter.
The door didn't have to be that short when you made it.
There's no real response. Captain Salt Spray, I would like to offer a service that I have available if you and the Hawkshead Compact would like to partake.
Describe?
He'll hold out the tablet. I can offer my services as a communication vessel. 5 individuals can input their names into this device, and I can translate messages from one to another at any distance.
Seems handy. And it's basically communication access with you as a hub, basically?
Precisely.
5?
Including myself, it would be 6, but yes, 5 individuals is the maximum capacity of the tome at this time.
Well, it really is still asleep, but... Am I miscounting as a player?
Yeah,
No, you're not.
It's 1 too few because it's based off my charisma modifier.
Because we have a fantastically huge party.
And it's 1 too few for it to be everybody, but I have Far Scribe and up to 5 other people can be on it.
Yeah. I'll sort of look over to Woden.
I mean, it definitely seems like it'll be useful.
Every advantage is good, but...
While I am familiar with the capabilities of the Hawkshead Compact, thanks to the great press, I would not be the one to assume to indicate who 5 should be best applied to the tome.
We should definitely apply... Let's start with definitely Aurelia, because she's got the most communication magic to reach out to anyone who's outside of it, including whichever one of us is outside of the loop.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Cora similarly. Actually, other way to do it. Ask if anyone doesn't want to be on the mailing list.
Yeah. But if everyone's okay with it, I think of everyone, Cole is the one who will be least impacted by not being actively on the list.
It's fair. I worry because Cole tends to go off on his own a bit.
But when he does, he tends to leave Jinx with someone.
That's fair. Yeah, anyone who's got a familiar can use that.
From my analysis, Cole Istasi or Korashana Thavakri either could make do without being on the list, depending. They would be the optimal ones to remain off.
Yeah, let's not decide that for them, though. Let's present the facts as they exist and let them decide for themselves if they want to be off.
Aye.
Because then we're not excluding someone, we're letting them make the decision to be excluded themselves.
the face splits and the smiling face comes back. Of course.
Oh, I'm not there, but I'm upset.
Jeremy, Cora's had a long rest.
Yes.
She also has a few items that she could have investigated during the time, or they. Would they be inclined to do anything that way?
Yes. I'm trying to think of what I have besides the skull.
Demon puzzle box.
Oh, that's right. The thing
Oh,
that you
that
keep
thing.
trying to push me to investigate, which every
Yeah.
time you bring it up makes me a little more suspicious.
You have somebody who can identify it.
Do it.
Just the Palpatine meme. Do it.
Do it.
Do it now.
We'll start with the skull.
Power. Okay. So you take some time during your
Yep.
rest to more or less attune to the skull.
Okay.
It's a regular humanoid-sized skull.
I like the idea, and that's where it ends. You've attuned to a regular human-sized skull. Next.
Now for the demo box.
It does have some functionality to it. You are able to build a bond of arcane understanding given your natural abilities that you have stolen from demons. To determine the functions thereof. So you should have a handout in your items folder called Skull of the Elder.
If you
While
Yep.
clicking it, you can cast the scrying spell with a save DC of 17 with it, as many
Sweet.
times as you want, as long as you want, all the time, basically like a crystal ball. And once and
You
once
have
per
to-
day, and it's not based on charges or anything. You've got infinite scry, basically.
you have to sing Styx's crystal ball though in order to activate it.
And once per day, you can cast telepathic bond while touching the skull.
Excellent.
I was gonna say you have to quote, the poor Yorick thing.
Alas, Yorick, I knew him once.
It's a combination. You have to quote you have to quote the Yorick line while singing Styx's crystal ball.
Gotta fit it in there
I
somehow.
will
It doesn't
not
matter how.
torment you with singing, trying to sing of all bands, fucking Styx.
Styx is great. It's one of my favorite bands
No.
of all time.
I'm not saying Styx is a bad band.
Styx has a very
saying
specific vocal range.
Styx's vocal range is not simple.
What you're saying is you're not Dennis DeYoung, is what you're saying.
Right. That is exactly what I am saying.
Very few people have Dennis DeYoung's range.
Man.
But you now have
I'm
access to the Skull of the Elder
Cool.
and a demon puzzle box.
And the demon puzzle box, which I'm assuming I can't. I probably can't do both in the same amount of time. So that will wait.
Yeah, you can probably, if you wanted to get your full long rest, you would need
Yes,
to
I do.
one over the other. And I assumed you would go with the skull first.
Yes, I absolutely do want to get my full rest because otherwise, how can I destroy people's minds with psychic crush again?
As a
I mean, that's
reminder,
fair.
everyone gets 5 hit dice back over your long rest.
Those 5 back that I spent yesterday.
Right?
Hey yo.
So, having brought this information to Wotan, I will follow Wotan and Zoe. I will follow their lead in presenting it to the rest of the party.
Sounds good. So the compact is assembled.
I'm still wearing the smiling mask.
Oh, I hate it.
And Warlock explains, hey, I've got a page in this book that's not really a book, but sort of book-like in certain facets.
You just have to punch your name in, and I can talk to you.
Punch. Sorry, stupid.
Nikki, you're drunk. Go home.
I have been sober for 2 months, sir. Thank you very much.
Good for you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That what you see when you see me pouring into a glass, if you ever do see me pouring it, is alcohol-free wine. It makes me feel like I'm drinking
So,
without
grape
actually
juice?
hurting myself.
So grape juice.
No, it's still fermented like normal wine, but then they burn the alcohol away.
Okay.
Yep.
So sour grape juice.
Yeah, if you ever drink wine, it's
It's non-alcoholic
I mean,
wine. It's not
that's
that weird. It's just not very good.
That's
It's not.
exactly how you describe that sour grape juice is exactly how I describe all types of wine.
Yep, pretty much.
See, I always described it as angry grape juice, but that works
This is why I drink the kiddie drinks at bars, because they're actually good.
because they actually taste good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Why only
everybody
do
is presented with a book in which they can write their names to be talked to.
Diamond doesn't actually punch it, even though someone said punch.
So you curl her hand up in a fist for a second, just hold it back. No, not you just tap.
Just
Because it doesn't look like a book.
Simply press the keys in the correct order, and I'll indicate the letters.
And then proceeds.
Oh yeah, I imagine every one of you has to hunt and pack.
Yeah, because none of us have seen a keyboard.
Can
like
I
this
say
before.
that Zoe chooses to go close to last, both to see who wants to be left off and to observe as many entries as possible to try and pull it off like I know what I'm doing?
Yeah. Diamond has no way of communicating to anybody if she gets lost, and that is bad.
All right.
Zoe's
So
name is 3 letters.
right.
It is
true.
So I think Zoe would try.
It is an alphabetical keyboard, though, not a QWERTY one.
Why?
yeah,
Why
because
would
no
you
one's-
do that? What is wrong
No one's
with
had
you?
time to develop ergonomics for a QWERTY keyboard.
Exactly.
Also,
it
QWERTY was not
printed-
developed for ergonomics. It was developed for optimal typewriter not messing
Speed.
up.
Speed and accuracy. But anyway.
It was printed by a press that is a greater power. I think it can figure out QWERTY.
Oh yeah, no. It's
what about
not a
Dvorak?
QWERTY keyboard.
Whatever it's called, ANSI.
Yeah.
Yep, it's not a QWERTY keyboard. I'm gonna make a ruling that it's technically not an alphabetical keyboard either.
Haha.
It's literally just all the letters in an order.
There is.
So you're
a
saying,
order, you
it
just don't know
actually
what
is
it
a Dvorak keyboard.
But it's
The order is not always the same every time you open it.
and the letters are not always just common.
Yeah,
It's,
Cole, take a look
it's
at
multifaceted, multifunctional,
Cole, take a look at that and be like,
multifuckery.
I'm good, and he backs up, scritching Jinx over to the.
All right. So Cole voluntarily keeps himself out of.
Damn it! I
Off-
was gonna do that.
Cole,
Yeah.
Cole likes to keep himself off the books, though.
It was basically a race to not get on there before Korshana.
I
There could be
mean,
only 4 people on there.
nobody's holding Aurelia's gun to your head and forcing.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say we push Rorik forward.
I mean, you can.
So
Rorik will figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cole and Cora, high five.
Off the books.
Okay, so Aurelia, Wotan, Diamond, Cole, Zoe, and Rorik.
No,
No,
Yeah.
Cole's
not
not on there.
Cole.
Oh, sorry.
Don't
sorry.
sneak Cole in
Not
there.
Yeah.
Cole. Sorry, I was just going around thing.
Aurelia,
Diamond,
Diamond,
Zoe.
Zoe, Wotan, and Rorik.
Why did I
Yep.
put Diamond's name twice?
Because I'm that important.
Because she punched it in the first time, and
Yeah.
the second time she had to type it in.
Stupid. Weirdly enough, when I punched it, all of the letters of my name were all together, and it just happened to
Yeah.
get it correct the first time.
Very well.
Also, Cora, until we get back into town, I don't know
Yeah.
where Shathal is, like most times. But in case you're worried, try to keep them alive a little bit longer because I don't have any. I used my last bit of herbs and
Ah, yes.
materials for Jinx last night.
Duly noted. This is in relation to absolutely nothing in this game, by the way, but I literally have to say this. I've come across a Twitter name that is the best name ever. It's Wikipedia Brown.
Yes, that is amazing.
That is the best
is
name
functionally
ever.
I think I've seen that name before.
That is
Absolutely the best.
fucking magical.
I will keep that in mind, and then I will think, I wonder where Shathal is. Shathal. Quasit, answer me now.
All right, let me look at the range on Find Familiar again, because I
Oopsies.
always forget this.
Well,
I mean, with
if
Pact of the Chainmaster, it's as long as they're
Yeah.
like on the same plane.
Oh, that's right.
yeah, Voice of the Chainmaster.
Eyes blink open.
Where are you?
And shit.
Aw.
Sorry, was that
You
eat
may
shit or
want
in
to
shit?
come here.
In shit.
Come find me, and along the way, douse yourself. Along the way, douse yourself in the river. If you are literally in shit.
He transforms into a bat.
If you're
and you can-
particularly good, I might even consider remaking you as an imp at some point.
Mentally you can feel a and he transforms himself into a bat and goes flying off in broad daylight, swearing the whole way.
Perfect. Thank
The
you.
most
He is on the way.
the sweariest bat in Conflux.
Yep.
I like the idea that the reason Shathal is so scary is because he's a closet when he used to
Yes.
be
It's
Well, yeah.
it's because he has objectively the worst Warlock master.
All right. So, is there anything you guys are going to do before you depart Gallows Inlet?
Let Bubbles out for a little bit. Let him stretch
Okay.
himself out a little bit.
Yep.
He's
He
been in a
glop-
backpack for several
He-
hours.
let
He
him eat
he
the
gloops he gloops his way around the deck, not dissolving through any of the deck boards.
My sweet puppy.
I see Bubbles. The face shifts back to the yin yang face. The book comes out and typing commences.
Tick, 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 tick.
Young oozling. Threat level minimal.
Unless you're furniture.
Threat level minimal.
All right. But if nothing else is to be done, you guys have clear waters and an open path back southward if you guys are headed wherever you're headed.
Back to the Hawkshead house to get your shit.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a pretty good guess that we are headed to wherever we're headed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
it's always where I guess where we're going.
Probably to Hawkshead to get all our shit.
Okay.
I feel like there's an echo.
You guys get everything from the house that you need to.
Including
And
furniture, what little there is.
including what little furniture remains, desk, etc.
We had
Um,
some furniture ordered that should have arrived by now.
Yeah, that stuff had already arrived. You're able to transport that as well.
And if anybody
You
wants
take an earthing.
if anybody wants them personalized, I can change the layout of their furniture.
Good, I'm good.
Turn this shitty desk into a good desk.
Ooh, upgrade. Diamond makes sure to grab Elishard's stuff.
If we are properly moving out at this point, I will take our quest list.
Okay.
I'm actually going to look at it. Has anything changed on it automatically?
Let me see what was on there originally.
And for Diamond's benefit, of Elishard's stuff that's left behind, he didn't have any other clothes. So what you find are a couple of weapons, like a couple of daggers and short swords, and his journal.
Yeah.
Which has all of his investigation notes in it. And there's also a personal diary.
Yeah. She's not going to get emotional or anything reading that.
That would be silly.
That would be silly.
Most of the stuff that you had originally gotten marked on there is gone. So like the circle for the giant monster down in Underbow, the marking for the bridge where that heist for the were-rats had to happen, that mark is gone, that sort of thing. It's largely blank now and ready for additional things to manifest. There are some marks on there. There's one in the fens, and then there's kind of a largish shape delineating trick towns.
And also a largish shape delineating Merc Dreamer Lane.
There actually isn't any indication in Merc Dreamer Lane currently.
Ooh.
Cool. I'll put down what I know of the group's future goals on the map and corresponding list. I will. Hey, Woden. Do you think it's time to formally move out with our landlords?
I think so.
That's a very open-ended way of describing what could be almost anything.
So we killing him?
That is the question.
Yeah.
That seems to be.
I don't care. I don't see any reason to. It's not as though we've had any hostile relationships with them.
No. Yeah.
But if they're unwilling to let us not rent that place anymore so that they can scam someone else, I don't see the reason to continue paying the money.
No, that would be the question. Is I don't see any need to. I don't need any words. I don't see any need to end their ability to be landlords.
Yeah.
Unless they do not wish to end our residency and more specifically our obligation toward residency. At that point, there's no reason not to destroy them all.
Cool.
Well, we can all head up to the place.
Let's all go.
I
let's
was
all
just
do it.
kidding. Maybe
They're not going to let all of us in, but that's fine.
I mean, if all of us go there and are present, that gives a bit of reinforcement to the idea that no, you don't want to try and force us on this.
If you would like,
Cool.
a guarantee, I can open a portal through which any of us can go at a time, so long as it is within 500 feet of the location.
No, I think we can walk.
Let's just walk there.
Let's just
Yes.
walk.
I should clarify. I mean, in case if they only allow 2 people in, things go bad and you would like reinforcements, I can provide a portal for the rest of our reinforcements to arrive through.
Very handy. Good to know.
All right, let's go see the landlords.
Said it in a
All
really
right.
weird way.
My
this
apologies.
guy's self, old elf lady
Old elf lady's back.
with the suited dragon now.
Oh shit, she upgraded.
Okay. You guys head off to the Birkdale boarding house.
IO
And
on my staff.
okay. Mechanical owl atop the staff that Warlock is carrying.
I guess Wotan actually is using Agony's limb as a walking stick at this point.
As we're on the way, Cora will say, "Point to consider, just in case we want to change our mind about this. Do we want to keep our paper trail clear for the most part, so that those who have reason to try and cannot potentially track us through past
I
investigations?"
feel like the question is, do we let the landlords know we won't be paying them anymore, or do we let them discover that they no longer have a tenant?
Oh no, I was asking. I am talking in terms of whether we destroy them or not. If we destroy them, they cannot provide any answers or details about our relationships to each
fair.
other.
But they are another potential ally that we could call upon at a different point.
This is also true and fair. I'm simply pointing out the possibility that being somewhat knowledgeable about us, they are a potential vulnerability point. The question is simply whether that vulnerability is greater than their potential benefit to us.
My thought would be that if we destroyed everyone that we were as vulnerable to as them or more, we would be burning a lot of bridges. There are many, many people who, you know what? I'd reckon that someone going up to Elishard's family and just asking might learn more about us than.
Are you suggesting that we destroy Elishard's family?
I'm saying that that's a good example of things we probably shouldn't destroy at the moment.
Very well.
I
would agree. I just wasn't sure what direction you were taking there.
Yeah. I don't think that they know anything that is so dangerous to us that we need to. Besides, we could potentially use them later. Like, it was really
Hopefully
useful to have them when there was a guy trying to flood Mercdreamer Lane. Or, this is not Mercdreamer.
Nice fun.
Thank you.
You're not wrong. I'm thinking about. I have always had at least some level of an assumption that they had regular spies in there.
Oh, they definitely do. I just assume we've all been careful. Because
may I point out the many octopus incidents that were very not careful.
Hey!
If you were I didn't say anything beyond that. I'm just saying, if something like a rat was inside, it would not be. We would not, from the perspective of someone who is inside, those were not subtle.
What would they do with that knowledge, and how could we guarantee that we?
I don't know.
Out that knowledge.
That's why I'm raising the question. If it is fine, it is fine, and yeah.
We can just end the lease.
Very
if it
well.
makes you feel better, if they don't let us end the lease or ask for more money than they are entitled to, we will burn them to the ground.
Oh, I figured that was already the plan. But yes, agreed.
Maybe we just scare them because, we have magic and they don't, and that should be enough.
I think
was
that
kidding
not
about the killing
them
part,
would
but
probably be best if we're not going to kill them.
Fair. Very well.
All right. So you guys managed to make your way to the boarding house. You're escorted in through the dining commons, and the bartender asks, "So, which three of you are going to go in and talk to the boss?"
That would be myself, Zoe, and Diamond. Or wait, I'm thinking third, either Diamond or Corshana, but Diamond seems like...
Diamond's always gone in.
Yeah, I think so. I think Diamond's been the one who's regularly gone in before.
Based on recent conversations, it might not want to be Cora.
That's fair. Yeah.
Prior to getting there, Io would be sitting on Wotan's shoulder.
That's fair.
Okay.
Mechanical owl.
A mechanic owl. if you will.
His,
Beat me to it.
his name is His name is Io.
But the three of you are allowed in with a few odd looks at Warlock in passing.
I am now. Warlock's face is now a blank black sheet of metal with just the pinpricks for the blue eyes.
Okay.
Noticing that, how obvious is it that Warlock is not just wearing some ridiculous looking armor?
Give me an insight check. Or, well, in this case, sorry, a perception check.
Same roll. 24.
As you're looking at it, I mean, Warlock's armor is an active part of his physiology, and the various movements and that sort of thing. If anybody takes time to actively examine him, it's patently obvious that he is not your standard humanoid.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
But the three of you walk in. Hiram Mencken is there at his normal spot, hair immaculately combed, without a fiber out of place, mustache clean and trimmed. He glances up over his glasses as he looked at you coming in. Yeah,
Morning, Minkin.
haven't seen any of you in a while.
No, we've been a bit busy.
I am watching through Io.
Okay. What brings you here?
Well, we're moving out, so time to end the lease.
All right, then. You got your records on hand?
Oh, yep. I pull the ledger out.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, normal percentage applies.
Yep. I will provide the amount that I've sequestered from the amount of money we've made thus far.
Okay. Which comes to how much?
Let me see if the bag still has the note on it, because I've been missing a few weeks, so I don't know if it's been updated or not.
I don't think you guys have gotten money
we haven't
in the
made any more
meantime.
money
So
since.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Actually,
probably still
I
updated.
found 5 gold. I will give Woden 2 of that to add
Okay.
to party funds or whatever.
And it was 30% or how much gold minimum?
60 gold minimum, I think.
60 gold? Okay, yeah,
Yep.
because the bag's currently got 70 in it right now as our
Okay.
30%. So there's bag of 70.
All right. You've got 3 days to vacate.
We're getting everything out right now.
Fair enough. Well, been a pleasure doing business with our local representatives in the competition.
And it's been a pleasure working with you. as well.
You do good work. If there's anything you need around the quarter, give us an ask.
And we're
We'll
still
help whatever
the
we
nice
can.
font representatives at the moment, so
Oh, I'm sure if everything goes to plan, that'll expand at least a little bit sometime soon.
Indeed.
that is the intent.
And if, shall we say, individuals need to get in touch with you, do you have a drop location or
I will
end off point?
I will provide one of my dead drops, because I presume I have dead drops across the city for.
You've got a few up and down the river, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. I'll provide the nearest dead drop to Knives Font.
We need
Appreciate
to stop leaving messages at that one inn.
Yeah. All right. Don't be strangers. Unless the exterminators are after you, in which case, kill them and then don't be strangers.
Thus far, we've got a solid track record of not leaving the people we're tangling with alive.
Good. Well, and as a parting gift, anything y'all are looking for currently?
Do we have anything in nice font that we're hunting down right now?
I mean, generally there are stuff that we would want or use, like we need furniture. And I'm sure that there's some people who have equipment desires.
As the voice of Elishard echoing in your brain, it potentially very useful to get aid from a thieves guild that the rat folk seem to be mostly comprised of, to find the thief and trick towns that has one of the Fey antiquities.
Ah, yes.
Right. Also, on the topic of thieves guild, well, there are some goods that it seems you work at least with, and if you don't sell them yourself, we are still looking to get them. Because Zoe wants to get everyone in the party a healer's kit and a thieves' tools kit. And is one of their sort of downtime list of things was to try and figure out who sold those.
Okay.
With that information, and then as well, if you've got any contacts in trick towns, we're looking for a specific amulet.
All right. Any more details on that you could provide?
Supposedly, there's a thief in trick towns who goes by the alias of Ember, leads a group of criminals in trick towns. She says she has it says that she has a amulet made of yellowish crystal that she's never seen without. If you have any leads on Ember or that amulet.
Ember's legendary, but I'll see what I can find. In the meantime, and he stands up, and this is the first time you've actually seen him out of his chair. And with a heavily pronounced limp, he goes over to cabinet on the side, pulls out a key, unlocks it, swings the doors open, pulls out a couple objects, comes back over, and just unceremoniously sort of hands them to Zoe.
I will take
Based on what you've said, that'll at least get you started.
Thank you. Putting those away for now.
Okay. You have 2 healer's kits, 2 sets of thieves' tools, and 4 basic healing potions.
Awesome.
I'll put it in chat for you.
And those are going into Zoe's inventory for the moment for clarification.
Okay.
I feel like that should be like there should be some fantasy adventurers guild in one of our settings that just has that policy of, okay, you're signed up, here's a healer's kit and a thieves tools kit. Even if you can't use them, they will find a use at some point.
As the Adventurers Guild and core grows.
And also, thieves tools are the sort of thing you can use if you're not proficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't add your bonus, that's all. Well, if we find anything on Ember, I'll leave word where you mentioned.
I appreciate it.
All right, everybody out. And he limps back to his chair, sits down, pulls another ledger over.
As they're coming back out, I will pull my senses back away from Io and switch from the black mask to the yin yang mask.
Okay. You guys take your items, having cleaned out the Hawkshead house, make your way back to the Elishard's Revenge. As you reboard, Galadel comes out on deck. Now, seems that you're not all dead. And you and I, young miss, have some work to do. And that's where
Yes.
we're going to end for the evening.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.